Hi guys, so Joel's challenge is to watch an episode of The Inbetweeners. I guess I'll just crack on with it then. So I've just finished watching that episode of Inbetweeners. So it starts off with Will, I would say the main character, as he's the narrator, I guess. So Will, the main character, talking about how he is at comprehensive school, blah blah blah. His mum doesn't have money to pay for him to go back to private school. And then it goes on to they're going on a field trip, and there's a new girl, and there's the obvious thing of Jay bullshitting Neil being a retard and being led on by this paedophile. Simon being Simon. See, that's the thing. I'm not a fan of comedy where they use sort of they put that like the characters in awkward situations and then sort of have their reaction. It's just not that funny to me. I mean, I can see why it's appealing for other people because I can see how some people would find it funny, but to have a whole show sort of based on that kind of thing, and it's like, I mean, it is slightly unrealistic in the way that the situations that they get themselves into is just, they're kind of stupid. I mean, no one would think about that. I think that's probably why people find it funny, is that because it's quite over the top. But yeah. And then it gets, yeah, so they get on the bus, blah, 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 and they all have to sit. Oh, no, sorry, they go to the back of the bus, and the hard man comes and pushes them away, or not pushes them away, but takes the seat for himself. Or rather, everyone leaves apart from Will, and Will is left in this situation where he has to speak to this bully, basically. And although, to be fair, the bully is a massive bellend. I mean, he's not even, he's got, like, a piercing in his, like, a little, like, hoop earring, sorry, and, like, slick back hair. It's not what, like, a hard man. But, yeah, I mean, that's also the other thing, is they're all supposed to be in sixth form, and they're all blatantly, like, 20 or something. Anyway, and then it goes on to this sort of thing where, the new girl, Will and Simon are kind of like fighting over this new girl, basically, and then she goes for Simon, but then Simon's already saying, oh yeah, blah blah blah. At the same time, Jay and Neil are trying to look for this mature nympho, because it's just Jay, because he's the sex pest. That's another thing as well, is that the characters are already quite sort of, I want to say defined, but they're kind of like, what do you call it, they're, because, well, I think that's it, they are sort of such characters that I think, and I don't see how you'd relate to that, but I think people just kind of, they like it for the characters. Yeah. The thing is, there's a sort of, there's bits in it where it's just kind of, I've had more fun at a party, and a lad's night sort of thing, that I don't really need, I don't find it that funny, because it's sort of the stuff that it just happens normally. That's probably another thing. It's sort of almost observational comedy. It's kind of, a lot of it is just kind of what happens. I mean, obviously not some of the stuff, because it's just, again, it's kind of over the top, but it's sort of supposed to be sort of over dramatic. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, Jay being awkward at the seaside, asking an old woman if she blows schoolboys. Yeah. Each episode that I've seen of The Inbetweeners has always had one funny thing, and I think the funniest thing that I saw was Neil being fished to death, just because of how sort of brutal it was in just the stupidest way. Yeah, they go on a boat ride, Simon falls in, and then goes annoying, whining, and then they strip him, and then they all huddle together around Simon, who's naked, whilst everyone watches. And again, that's like, the other awkward situation. So it's kind of, yeah, whatever. It wasn't, yeah, so, yeah. Overall thing is, the acting is good, because they're playing the characters quite well, but just because that's the characters that they're playing. In terms of story, I didn't really like it that much, but then again, that's just only because I don't find it that funny. And yeah, not really much else. I could talk about cinematography and stuff, but can't be bothered. Yeah, so really, that's pretty much it. Although there was one funny thing. When I say funny, there's like this paedophile, and he's sort of like, yeah, the reason why Neil is going on that trip is because this guy, he asked this paedophile, and the paedophile obviously wants to score, I guess. And yeah, but the paedophile looks like this guy. So go and watch that video because it's a lot funnier. Whoa, so now I'm somewhere else. So I know this review wasn't exactly professional, but that's just my opinion, and yeah, cool. So Joel, your challenge is to drink a glass of double concentrated squash without the water.